We've all had it, guys. The people who come into our DMs and they go, "How much does your coaching cost?" And let's be real, if your DMs are filled with, "How much is it?" Your marketing is leaking authority. Like, you don't need to lower your price. You don't need to learn sales scripts. You get to build a brand that makes the right people say, "This is mine. This is for me. This is speaking to my soul." And in this video, I'll show you exactly how to create content that pre-sells your offer, pre-qualifies your leads, and positions you as the obvious next step. So by the time somebody already reaches out, like, they're already in. They're just asking you how they can get going. Let's dig in, because most coaches think they have a sales problem because sales feels hard. But what they actually have is a messaging problem. They're not pre-framing the journey. They post value. They share tips. They even talk about transformation, but their content is passive, right? It educates, but like in reality, it doesn't actually activate anything. It doesn't stir up that desire, and it definitely doesn't anchor urgency. It doesn't speak to the cost of staying stuck, the cost that your clients have likely been paying for years now. They're starting to pay compounding interest on it. So when someone reaches out, they're still doubtful, like they're unsure. They ask about price, they want to think about it. But the reason that's happening is because unclear marketing creates skeptical buyers. They're coming in going, "I still don't know exactly what this is or if it will actually help me." And I remember when this hit me, like I kept having to sell on calls, convince, justify, handle objections. And I was good at it, guys. Like I I could do all the things you see all those sales trainers do in their reels, but it didn't feel right. And I wasn't getting the right clients into my program because I was having to force them in. And I realized my content wasn't doing the heavy lifting. I was missing a crucial step of pre-framing the process. People weren't sold on the possibility. They definitely weren't sold on me. And they especially were not sold on themselves and the idea that they could do this. So I changed it, right? Here's what aligned messaging actually does: it moves the right person emotionally, right here, energetically, and psychologically before they ever get to your DMs. They see your post, and for the first time in a while, they feel seen. They hear your story and they find themselves inside of it. And let that one really land there. They hear your story and they find themselves inside of it. Not you are yelling from the mountaintop, telling them what they need to do. You share how you've overcome similar struggles, what you did when you were in their position. And then it starts to break down those barriers. You seem like a real person. They start to read and hear your words and they whisper to themselves, "I think this is actually what I've been waiting for." And guys, when that happens, objections fall away. Why? Because the part of them that needed proof already got it from your full presence. Aligned messaging does these three things. One, it paints their aspiration as realistic, not just a dream, but an actual achievable destination. It bridges the emotional cost of staying stuck gently and clearly. It clearly illustrates that, but it doesn't twist the shame knife. And it builds certainty in your offer, your leadership, and especially their readiness and their ability. Like when you hit those three, they don't come to ask questions. Well, they might come to ask, "How do I get going?" But they come to claim what they've already decided is theirs. And that's what we want, right, guys? Like, we're not just looking for a lead, we're looking for a yes. So let's get tactical. Here's how to build content that pulls aligned clients toward you instead of you having to drag them in. One, you show outcomes, not features, right? Don't say, "I help people lose weight." Say, "Imagine fitting into those jeans that are in the back of your closet." Speak their internal monologue. Use the language they're too afraid to say out loud, the fears they hide, the longings that they whisper. Like that's what builds intimacy. Model the experience of working with you. Let your feed, and I saw the camera go, we're going to keep going. Let your feed feel like what your coaching feels like, right? Like that's the thing. You think it needs to be something different. It doesn't. Let your feed be that first step in the coaching conversation. You fully meeting them where they are, clear, grounded, empowering, truthful, energetically raw and clean. Like this is all of the magic here, guys. Like the people that are doing 20, 30, 50, 100, $200,000 a month coaching fitness, wellness, and mindset. It's the more congruent your content is with your coaching, the faster that trust builds. Like I've had clients who message me after reading just one post, and they don't ask for the price. They say, hey, this is different and I can feel it. How do I get going? They don't need persuasion. They already feel the transformation beginning just from the words, just from the actual authenticity, from what we've talked about in previous videos, the law of entrainment. Like you become the biggest grandfather clock. And that's the power of truly congruent, authentic messaging. It doesn't explain, guys. It attracts, and in a way it transmits. When your message is felt, and I want to break that open. When your message is felt, when it makes sense, as in, what are senses? Things we feel with, right? When it makes sense, when people can feel your messaging, sales aren't convincing. It's not this like song and dance of trying to overcome objections and figure out how much money they can spend. It's a confirmation of you two walking the journey together. Right? Like that's what we want. We want people getting on calls who like are a full body yes and are just doing a one final vibe check. So honestly, guys, if you're tired of getting onto sales calls, having to explain your worth, having poorly qualified leads on the sales calls, like stop creating content that's vague and requires explanation. Build content that builds conviction. Create content that bypasses defense, and more than bypasses it, breaks it down and speaks straight to the desire. Like, here's the thing, like you don't need to get better at selling. Yes, that is a skill to have. And really, you need to get braver in your messaging. Like, you need to fully hit your audience where they are. It's what it comes down to. So if this hit and you're like, how do I do this? Or if you're sitting here like, Chase, I thought I was doing this, but it's just not quite working. And I want the special sauce. Jump over to Instagram and DM me the word sign up. And we'll talk. I have a free tool to help audit your messaging. And we can also hop on and explore the possibility of you fully jumping in to rebuild your brand around resonance, not resistance. Because here's the truth, guys. The right client does not ask why you. They ask when can we start? Let's build that business.